seconds. Excited to see some of our LAER agents. I see Roberto, new agent. Emily is on here, so thank you for joining us, Emily. And lots of agents from other brokerages, which is awesome. For everybody that's joining us today from all different brokerages across the country, as a reminder, you'll get just as much out of this as agents from the LAER brokerage. Everything we do is open to all agents at all firms. So when we give out Canva templates and training programs and listing presentations and buyer presentations, everything is open to everybody. So for the next few hours, you are going to get bombarded with lots of great content and tools to significantly grow your business. So with that, I want to just get started. What you're looking at is our LAER program and services guide. Again, don't get freaked out if you're with another brokerage, not a big deal. In fact, most people who attend our monthly boot camp are from brokerages all across the country. And a lot of what we're going to cover is within this booklet. This is a 40-page guide of resources to help you build your business. By the way, you can download this booklet at LAER Realty, that's LAER Realty.com/success tools. When you download the booklet, by the way, as you go through it, anytime you see anything underlined within the book, that's a hyperlink. So it's designed for you to keep exploring as you go through the booklet. So you can click on the links and learn more about the piece that is highlighted within the page you're looking at. So my name is Stacey Alcorn. I'm the founder and CEO of LAER Realty Partners. We're an independent real estate brokerage. We've been in the business for 10 years. And from the beginning, our goal has been to help all agents become the best versions of themselves, which is why we open up all of the tools, training, technology to agents of all firms. Where we got our name from, LAER, is when we started the brokerage, we knew that our goal was to attract great agents, build great agents. And so what makes a great real estate agent? Great real estate agents are strong. They're negotiators of difficult terrain, and they are true protectors of their clients. In other words, they don't focus on money first. They focus on helping people. I have a feeling we have lots of agents like that on our call today. So when we put those words into a Google search several years ago, strong protector negotiator, the first thing that came up in our search was a lion. So we said, that's it. We're going to build our brand around the lions of real estate. In the jungle, lions hang out in lairs. In the real estate world, the lions of real estate we look at are at LAER. We changed the spelling of LAER because ours is the mirror image of real, since we're in the real estate business. And then we created the acronym Local Agents Extraordinary Results. I tell people sometimes you see a lion statue in front of a home. That's because the lion is a symbol of protection for the home. We look at it that there's a new symbol of protection for real estate across New England and Florida, and it is our for sale sign. So that's a little bit of a background on our brokerage. Let's dig into some of the content. As you go through this program guide, the first few pages just cover our cultural values. So you'll see we have 30 different cultural values that we use when building our business and helping our agents navigate their success through the industry. There's also a page in there about the fact that we're independent. We're very proud to be an independent real estate brokerage. We're consistently ranked amongst Real Trends as one of the largest real estate brokerages in the country by both Real Trends and the Riz Media Power Broker Report. We're ranked as one of the largest real estate brokerages. But what makes us proud about that is we're kind of small, with about 850 real estate agents in New England and Florida. So makes us very proud that we have a really wonderful base of agents doing a lot of business. And that tells us that some of the stuff that we're doing, the tools, the training, technology, etc., are working. Now, as you go through the guide, the booklet is broken down into 4 sections. So you'll know you're entering a section when you see a big area like this. This is our marketing and branding section. So this goes through marketing and branding tools. And by the way, we're going to spend the next hour and a half really just focusing on marketing and branding tools for real estate agents. We front load the entire program, just like we front load our program and services guide with the stuff that seems to matter most to our agents, marketing and branding. So over the next hour and a half, you're going to get lots of content that you could take into your business. Now, really important to note, I always start every class we do, every program, with the notion that it's important to write down everything. So the goal for you today is to walk away with, I would say, 5 to 10 items that you're going to execute on. Our motto is knowledge is not power, execution is power. Knowledge is potential. So I appreciate that you're spending time really digging into your business. The fact that you showed up for this program today means you care a lot about your business and you want to serve your clients better. You want to serve your families better. You want to build your real estate business. So what we don't want to have happen is that you spend the next 2 or 3 hours with us learning all kinds of great stuff to build your business, and then you go off and do business and forget about the class. And that happens a lot in our industry because we're so fragmented. We do so many things as real estate professionals that it's super easy to be like concentrating for a couple hours on one thing, and then you're immediately off to an appointment or to a home inspection. And then that appointment or that home inspection ends up consuming you, that then you didn't go execute on the things that you saw earlier in the class, which is why we say write down 5 to 10 items that you're going to go execute on so that when you leave after the program today and you're heading off to your home inspection or heading off to your listing appointment, when you come back tonight or tomorrow morning, you have a piece of paper that says, oh yeah, these are the 10 things I have to go work on. Because all too often, if you're not writing it down, you're going to forget about it. And then you wasted this valuable time that you just put into your business. So you're going to write down today 5 to 10 items. Either just have a piece of paper available. By the way, I'm going to point out throughout the program some of the things that I think you should go execute on if you don't already have these as part of your business practice. So I'll give you some helpful hints along the way. So first of all, have a piece of paper, or if you have a printer nearby, you can actually print out this booklet, the LAER program guide. You can download it at LAER Realty, LAER Realty.com/success tools. If you go to the bottom of that page, you can download a PDF of this booklet, print it off, and then take notes as you go. But really important, number the items 1 through 10 or 1 through 5 that you're going to go execute on. We're going to share with you literally hundreds of items that you could go execute on. So there's lots and lots of content. We're going to help you narrow it down to the main things that we think will help you build your business after you leave today's program. By the way, we do this class on the first Friday of every single month. We have been for about 5 years. The only time we don't do it on the first Friday of a month is typically if the first Friday lands on a holiday, then we might not I think maybe once or twice it didn't land on the first Friday. But for the most part, we're very consistent. It's been a 5-year program. We build on it. We add new stuff all the time. Interestingly, next month, we're going to be adding a whole new component to it because we'll be announcing for the LAER agents. We just partnered with a company called Fellow, which is a program. It's a database system that turns your database. It's like an AI database that kind of scrubs your database and finds the people who are most likely going to list their property in the next 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year, so that you can do super high targeted marketing to the people most likely to sell fairly soon. So that'll be a change for next month. But for those of you who have been on our program, I know Roberto, you've been on our class many times. Carolyn Brown is here. Carolyn Brown received an award this year for, I think it was called being a boot camp queen. She comes to almost every month. Carolyn is constantly focusing on her business, so comes regularly. But we do offer the program monthly on the first Friday. As well, we have a phenomenal YouTube station, youtube.com/LAER, LAER training. So youtube.com/LAER training. In fact, I'd put that number 1 on the list of things to do. You can do it right now, by the way, while you're on your system. The cool thing about that is after today's program, this gets uploaded immediately to our YouTube station. So it's a long program. I always say we're going to try to end it before noon, but most often there's so much to cover that we end up going right to noon. If you can't stay for the whole thing, then if you've subscribed to our YouTube at youtube.com/LAER training, then you can come back later and watch the ending from just pick up where you left off if you have to leave a little bit early. So let's dig into some marketing and branding. All right. First place that we're going to spend a little bit of time today is LAERagentservices.com. So as I mentioned in the booklet, if you've downloaded our LAER program guide, there's a booklet there. If you see anything underlined within the booklet, that's a hyperlink to more information. So you can just kind of click it, and then it's going to take you over to our LAER Agent Services dashboard. So some of you came on a little bit late. You're probably saying, hey, I'm not a LAER agent. Should I even be on this call? The answer is yes. The call is open to agents of any firm. This LAER Agent Services dashboard is, as you could see, open to any agent. It is not password protected, so you can kind of go through and begin scrolling around. But we're spending the next hour or so just focused on marketing stuff. We're going to kind of go through this agent services dashboard first of all, because there's a lot of items. As I said, we're going to front load today's program on marketing and branding so that if you can't stay for the whole program, that you're still getting a really good listing presentation or buyer presentation. So we're going to front load today with marketing stuff. But we'll spend the next hour to hour and a half right on this agent services dashboard. So you'll want to bookmark this. It's LAERagentservices.com so that you can come back all the time. We add to this all the time. Okay. So let's take just a really quick look at how this whole page is organized. So one of the things about real estate agents we've come to learn over the last 20 years or so is that agents like to go in real estate. We like to tour real estate. We like to explore homes. So with that in mind, we built it up. We built this so that you guys get to explore these little houses, these little homes. So inside of each of these little homes is all kinds of information for you to develop your business. So we're gonna go explore some of these homes in a moment. But I also want to just point out right at the very top here, there's also like a directory of things to check out. A couple of these items are really just geared for LAER agents, and the rest is for everybody. For example, right at the top, if you're a LAER agent and you want to know when our staff is available within the office, maybe you're having a client drop off something like a signed document or a check or something, and you want to know if there's staff in the office that day, you can just click on our host schedule and it brings up a calendar and you could see, so this is today, it shows you a big list of each office and who is in the office for the day and what the hours are. So you can go day by day and really just see who's in the office in case you need to have something dropped off. That's just our host schedule. We also have at the top a link to our internal LAER newsletter. So if you're a LAER agent, we do once a month put out a newsletter for as to what's happening within our brokerage. So it's a 4-page newsletter. There's always like a little update from me. It talks about training programs. By the way, you can go download the current issue of the newsletter by going right under the newsletter. As well, you can get archived copies of all the past newsletters as well if you want to go back and review something. But you'll see there's each month a section on books, a book recommendation, technology tips, celebrations, what's happening with the agents within the offices, a movie recommendation. We have a sustainability segment, by the way. Craig Foley, who you guys will get to meet in a few minutes, Chief Sustainability Officer for LAER, was recently interviewed for U.S. News and World Report. So we have that article in the most recent version of the newsletter. And then many of our agents are preparing for their PI client appreciation event. So we have a whole section on how to organize your client appreciation event. And then, of course, our birthday celebrations. So that's just under the LAER news section. There's a section of recently joined agents, just who, as people join our brokerage, we put a little update here. So you get to learn a little bit about them. We always include their photo and their bio, so you can read about the agent, which marketplace they joined, etc. Let's see. And then some of these other ones just take you down to the sections below. So we won't spend too much going through any of those because we're going to explore those a little further as we go explore through all of the houses. Okay, so right at the very top of the agent services page, there's a section, if you're a LAER agent who recently joined our brokerage, there's a section here for you. Number 1 is our program guide. The program guide is the guide we just saw a minute ago. So that's our 40-page guide of all the tools and services available at LAER. So if you click over to the program guide down at the bottom, you can download a PDF version of it. There's also this GPS of getting around LAER. So there's hundreds of help questions here. If you're a recently joined LAER agent, you can go to our little frequently asked questions help desk and type it in, and our system will direct you as to where to get the assistance. And then we have a section called Tell the World, and these are letters and social media posts about joining the brokerage. As I mentioned, our newly joined agent section. And then we're down to marketing, branding, and presentations. Here's where you're going to want to get out a pen or pencil because we're going to cover a lot of stuff that you'll want to go execute on after today's program. So first up, we have guides, presentations, brochures. That is the very first link on the left-hand side. First link guide presentations, brochures. Somebody asked, will we get all this in an email format? It depends. So on Monday, when I send out the Mindful Monday message on Monday, which many of you receive, at the bottom of that, there'll be a replay of today's program. So if you want to go back and review anything. Okay, we're under guides, presentations, brochures. Here's what you need to know before you dig into some of our content. Many of you use Canva for your business. All of the marketing that I'm about to show you, all of the marketing done at LAER, it is all built off of Canva. So if you're not familiar with Canva, the really cool piece of Canva is it's a marketing program that is built for laymen. Here's what I mean by that. 5 years ago, a lot of our marketing stuff was prepared using like Adobe. So our marketing team would create listing sheets and social media pieces, and agents could use them, but they couldn't really go in and change anything because you had to take a lot of classes to figure out how to use the Adobe system. That is not the case with Canva. Canva, even if you've never used it, even if you're not great with technology, even if you're not good with marketing stuff, Canva is so simple to use. Canva is an application for everyday people to design beautiful pieces. So all of our stuff is built off of Canva. That means our listing presentations, our buyer presentations, our buyer guides, our seller guides, our expired listing guides, everything we do is built off of Canva. Now, Canva has 2 versions. By the way, Canva is available on your desktop. It also has a phenomenal app, so make sure you download the app as well. There's 2 versions of Canva, a free version and a paid version. The paid version is about $15 a month. You get a discount if you pay for a year in advance. For the business that we're in, we're marketers. So I feel that it's a good idea to have the paid version of Canva. However, you can utilize everything we're about to show you, even if you have the free version of Canva. And the difference between the paid version of Canva and the free version of Canva is with the paid version, the $15 per month version, 2 things. Number 1, you can schedule all of your social media posts right from within Canva. So that's one piece of the paid version that the free version does not offer. The second piece, and the more important piece, in my opinion, is stock imagery. So stock imagery is when you want images of like landscapes or interior of houses or a family unpacking moving boxes. Stock images are images that you would just throw into your marketing pieces to make them look beautiful. So if you have the paid version of Canva, they have millions and millions of stock images so that you can make your marketing pieces look beautiful. If you have the free version of Canva, you still have a lot of stock images. There's like probably hundreds of thousands of stock images. There's just not millions of stock images. Our marketing team designs a lot of marketing pieces, so we like to have as many stock images as possible. So that's why everything we do from the marketing end of things, we build it off of the paid version of Canva. So you could still use all of our stuff if you are a free Canva member, but I will show you, you'll have to do a couple of tweaks if you want to use the free version of Canva. But I'll go through that as we explore some of the cool pieces that we have here for your business. So, I would go through and kind of go through each item with you, but let's go first to like a listing presentation. So under here, as you explore through, we have document on understanding buyer agency because of the new rules in real estate. So this is like a little booklet on understanding buyer agency. Let's take a look at it. We'll just click on it so you can get an idea of what this is. Now, if you've never used Canva before, what I want you to know is that these are Canva templates. So that means when you open the template, it is now your document. So you don't have to worry about changing something and then everybody else is going to see it. Once you open it in your Canva, you own it. It's now your version of what you just opened. So any changes you make to the document will only be seen by you. So this is a booklet, like an 11-page booklet on understanding buyer agency. Yes, it has a LAER logo on it. All of this can be changed, by the way. You could change out logos. This right here is a stock image. So we talked a minute ago about stock imagery. This is a stock image. So let's go back to that for a second. If you're using the free version of Canva, sometimes when you open one of our branding pieces, you will see a Canva watermark across an image. That is because you're using a free version of Canva, and the image that we used, the image that we selected, was from the paid version of Canva. Does that mean you can't use the document? No, you can still use the document, but you can't use the document. You can't use the document with that image in it. So anytime you see a Canva watermark, if you're using the free version, you'll have to just go in and change the photo out. So you would just go in here and type people buying a house. And if you're using the free version, it'll just give you pictures that come with the free version of Canva. So you would just have to change out the image. So let's see, most of these are all, I could tell that most of these images, because they have a little king hat on them, that means that those are the paid version of Canva. That's why you can see you get way more stock images under the paid version of Canva than under the free version. But here's one right here. This is available to any Canva person. So let's say that you open up our understanding buyer agency document, you want to use it, you have the free version of Canva, and you see a watermark across this image. You would go in and find a new image that is for free Canva users and just change it out. So I just changed out that, and now you'd be able to use this document. So that's just one extra step that you basically would have to take occasionally if you're using the free version of Canva. Anyways, this is an 11-page document that talks about transparency. All of this is meant to be customized. So you'll see a place for your photo, your contact information, and you would have to change out you'd have to change out the logo. Katie, the answer is yes. You do not have to be a LAER agent to use the documents. So you would have to just go in and change out the logo. So nothing on our pieces is locked. So nothing is locked. You just go in and change out the logo and put your own logo. So you add your photo, your contact information, etc. Tons of stuff. All of our stuff is designed so you could change literally anything. You can take out logos, add logos. You can take out pages. Sometimes our stuff, I've had agents say our listing presentation, which I'll show you in a moment, is very involved. There is nothing on this, on our LAER agent services pages, that is like junk. Everything, our marketing team spends countless hours working at creating really good content. So our listing presentations are like include everything that you would want to talk about at a listing presentation. Our buyer presentations include everything that you would want to talk about at a buyer presentation. Now, sometimes agents say, hey, this is like really way too in-depth for me. I need to pare it down a little bit. Totally fine. You can delete out pages, anything that you want to do. By the way, you could change out colors. Canva's wonderful in that you can do whatever you want with any of the documents that you see here today. So that was just a 11-page booklet on understanding buyer agency. We have a great document here that explains to sellers why they should offer to pay a buyer agent. So some of our agents like this, it's like a little checkbox. You would go change out your photo, of course, add your own photo or your own logo. But it's a little document that explains all the reasons why the seller should consider paying a buyer agent. We have a seller net proceeds sheet. Let's see. Couple that I definitely want to go over. We have listing presentations and buyer presentations. So one of the things I want to point out, only because I don't know what markets you guys are doing business in, for many of you. One of the things you'll notice is that on our LAER agent services section under the marketing, you'll see, for example, that our listing presentation, we have two versions, one for New England agents and one for Florida agents. Same with our buyer presentations. We have the New England buyer agency presentation and the Florida buyer agency presentation. Our agents in Florida practice transaction brokerage. So there are less fiduciary responsibilities in Florida than there are in New England. So the presentations need to be a little bit different. In other words, I can't promise as much as a real estate agent. If I'm a Florida agent, I'm going to make less promises within my listing and buyer presentations than a New England agent would. That is why there's two different presentations for listings and buyers, Florida versus New England. The reason this is important is because regardless of what state you're working in, you want to make sure that you're representing information correctly and that, for example, if you're practicing transaction brokerage, then you need to be using the right presentation so you're not over promising something, promising fiduciary agency when you're not actually practicing that. So just something to keep in mind as you're checking out some of these documents. But let me take you to our listing presentation. This is a typical listing presentation for like a New England, one of our New England agents. I won't go through the whole thing, but as I mentioned, all of our presentations are like really detailed. So you can go through and customize this as you like. For example, you'd have to include your name down at the bottom of this, change out logos, put in all of your contact information. And then we have like what it means to work with a great listing agent. So this one talks about what our partnership means and having 800 real estate agents and what it means to be an independent brokerage. But more importantly, it talks about why somebody would want to work with a realtor. So we're a realtor organization. This is just another important point. If you're logged in today and you're with a different brokerage and you're not a realtor, you have to change up some of the marketing pieces that you're seeing here because of the way that our stuff is being sold. All I'm saying is if you're using any of our documentation, just go through it and read it so that you can make sure that you're promising properly. In the listing presentation, it talks about all the things that a real estate agent does to articulate the amount of time that is spent on an average listing. Um, and then we kind of talk about what makes us different than other brokerages, things like that. So all of this is meant for you to create your unique value proposition. What do you offer? What does your brokerage offer? What does being a realtor offer? Think of each of those segments and then update your listing presentation. Again, this one, some of our agents say it's too long. This one's a 38-page listing presentation. You'll see that it's in like a PowerPoint format, so that it's meant that if you bring it on a presentation, if you were to go on a listing presentation, you'd either bring it as a flip chart or as bring your computer and show the presentation that way. There's another one here. We have several different listing and buyer presentations. I'm going to show you. By the way, as you're playing with Canva, let's just say you liked that listing presentation, but you want to turn it into a book. Canva makes it very easy. You can basically copy it and then reformat it into a different format that you prefer. So I think Canva is a super important tool for every real estate agent, because we do so much marketing and branding and having nice pieces to bring to our appointments. I did want to just show you our LAER guide to buyer representation in New England. So this is a buyer presentation. Same thing as what you just saw, but you just saw a listing presentation. I want to spend a couple minutes on the buyer presentation because this is new for a lot of real estate agents. So many of you who've been in the business for a long time have had a listing presentation forever, because it was normal for us, because we were asking a seller to sign a contract when we sat with them, that we have to articulate our value prior to asking them to sign the contract. So for many, and I know business is different in every state, but for many of our New England agents, they were not asking a buyer to sign a contract prior to taking them out to search for real estate up until the laws changed. So oftentimes agents did not have a buyer presentation because they weren't asking a buyer to commit in any way to them. So now that the laws have all changed, it's really important that you have a great buyer presentation, because you are asking the buyer to make a commitment to you in the form of an agreement that if they look at the house through you, they're going to buy the house through you. So this is a buyer presentation. It needs to be updated, of course, with all the information about you, and it's got some section in there for client feedback. And then we go through the 10 steps to buying a home. Now, what I want you to think about, so like here we have step 1, evaluation, consultation, and representation. But we go right into, do I need a buyer agent? Because that's one of the pieces that we need to articulate to the potential buyer, why they do need a buyer agent. So we include that as like right from the beginning. We also talk about right from the start in the presentation, how agents are paid. And then the buyer representation contract and what they agree to. We say throw a copy of your contract right into the presentation. So you would just cut and paste the buyer contract so that they know exactly what they're signing. Then step 2, determining a comfortable price range, evaluating mortgage options, shopping for more than just an interest rate, getting pre-approved, mortgage insurance, evaluating communities, shopping for a home, Okay, this is important. So one of the things we include in the buyer agent, the buyer presentation, is we talk about Zillow. So I always tell real estate agents, if you are not talking about Zillow with your buyers, then they're going to be shopping for their home on Zillow. And is that good for you or bad for you? It is not good for you. It is bad for you if your clients are shopping on Zillow for real estate, because there is a high likelihood you're going to lose the buyer. Zillow is not in the business of helping the consumer find the right home. Zillow is in the business of selling the name and phone number of the person shopping for a home to real estate and mortgage professionals. We want to keep our buyers off of Zillow. So that is why we embed it into the buyer presentation. Where should they be looking for real estate? Well, first of all, that's different for everybody. If you're a LAER agent, it probably should be Real Scout is where that search will be. But most importantly, you want to embed into your presentation and have a conversation with the consumer as to why they should not be looking for a home on Zillow. It is not in their best interest. First of all, Zillow is not a real-time property search, so it is not updated real time. That means that there's a really good chance they're going to go fall in love with the house of their dreams that went under agreement a week ago. And Zillow has not updated the fact that it's already under agreement. Also, if you're a real estate agent, it's worth going on and playing with Zillow as if you were a buyer, because it's super interesting to play with it like you are a buyer. You'll notice that you can't really narrow your search down. So you can only narrow your search in $50,000 increments. And it doesn't let you pick like what style house you want. It doesn't let you search real estate by what school zone you want. Many buyers also think that like they're going to be contacting the listing agent if they put an inquiry in. So many of your buyers, some buyers are very loyal to you, but they're still on Zillow and they want to ask a quick question to the listing agent. So they put in a quick inquiry into Zillow, believing that they're going to get a response back from a listing agent. We know that's not true. They're actually getting a response by any real estate agent who happens to be paying for Zillow lead. For sellers, we know estimates are highly inaccurate. And one of the things we could say to our buyers is, by the way, avoid Zillow. The search is not good. It's not up to date. You can't narrow your search. I'm going to put you on a great search campaign so we can find you a home. Most importantly for us as real estate agents, we don't want to have our consumer go down a yellow brick road that takes them away from us. But also our consumers don't want to get inundated with sales calls by strangers. And that is what does happen with Zillow. Quickly, I just want to point out, as you go through this buyer presentation, and the same is true with the listing presentation, there's a wonderful book out there that is called The Checklist Manifesto by Atul Gawande. And the Checklist Manifesto, Atul Gawande is like a chief of surgery for I think he's a Boston-based hospital. And he wrote a phenomenal book, The Checklist Manifesto, and it's all about how the best businesses, and including industries such as like medical industries. The whole premise of the book starts with the fact that there were hospitals that had a high incidence of infection, and it came down to the fact that the doctors were forgetting to wash their hands between appointments and before surgeries and stuff. And so it came down, they corrected the situation simply by a checklist. And it makes comparisons to the airline industry when a pilot the pilot's job is to oversee a checklist when they're takeoff and landing. That is what pilots do, is go through a simple checklist for takeoff and landing Sounds very simple, but it is extremely effective. And the point of that is if you apply it to your business as a real estate professional, a checklist is a game changer. A checklist is a protocol. It is a procedure. It is how to scale something. It is how to make sure your customer is happy every single time. It is a way to ensure that you aren't losing a listing because you forgot to mention the fact that you give a lot of money to charity throughout the year or do community work. So what I want you to think about as you're looking at your listing presentation and your buyer presentation, these are your checklist manifestos. These are your ways of ensuring that you're not forgetting to talk about important aspects that may be interesting to the buyer or seller that you are representing. Second piece we see in here in the buyer presentation is you got to talk to your consumer about what they should do if they're visiting an open house. We don't want people going willy-nilly, like just visiting open houses, making relationships with another real estate agent, etc. That's how you lose customers. So how do we make sure that doesn't happen? We have a conversation, which is very easy because it's in our buyer presentation now. It's in our part of our checklist manifesto, so we don't lose that buyer. So talk to them about what to do if they want to visit open houses. We're going to talk to them about what to do when they see that their neighbor is for sale by owner and they want that house. Should they go direct to the neighbor and say, hey, I see the for sale by owner sign? No, we don't want that happening. But let's talk to them about it in advance. Let's not have the conversation after they've made contact with the for sale by owner and have already viewed the property, and now it becomes a problem. This is your checklist manifesto. It talks about property due diligence, pricing and offer strategies, what happens if there's a bidding war, step 7, writing the offer, what to do if an offer is rejected, what to do if it's accepted, inspections. Beyond the home inspection, what are the types of inspections that are available to them? What happens if there's too many repairs? What are their options? Talk about what is a home warranty and how can that help them? We then talk about appraisal and mortgage conditions, preventing mortgage declines. Here's part of your checklist manifesto. Hey, by the way, don't buy a car. Don't go finance furniture. So many buyers get roped into like Jordan's Furniture is free financing for 5 years. So now they go and sign up for all new $30,000 in furniture, and they've just increased their debt to income ratio, so they no longer qualify for the house. They should not co-sign for debt. They should not change jobs, quit jobs. They should not pay a bill. Talk about homeowners insurance. That's a big one in Florida. Like, what are the options and what are the hindrances of homeowners insurance? And then what does a closing look like, final walkthrough, etc. So all of this is you articulating your value, part 1. So imagine that you show this every time you meet with a buyer before just going out and showing them a property. Would it be easier to get a buyer document signed, a buyer agreement signed? In my opinion, yes, because you've just articulated a massive amount of value in your presentation. But also it is your checklist manifesto. It has made sure that you're speaking about certain things that are going to help ensure a happy customer and a smooth move. So that's a buyer presentation. We have others as well. Craig is going to come on in a little bit and talk about, Craig is our Chief Sustainability Officer, and he's going to go through all the sustainability tools available to you. But I do want to point out that we have a high performance buyer presentation and a high performance home listing presentation for those of you that are green designated agents or very interested in sustainability. It's a different message that the consumers that you're working with, if you're working in that segment of the market, So we want to have great presentations for the buyers and sellers of high performance homes. So we have those several options to choose from. We also have a buyer guide and a seller guide. So, by the way, as you'll see, we have Florida versions and New England versions. These are just like printable guides so that you can give a nice handout to somebody after your buyer appointment. It's not as detailed or as in-depth as the buyer presentation, but this buyer guide, it's like a brief overview of everything you went over in the buyer presentation. This one's 18 pages long, all customizable. Same with the seller presentation, the LAER agent seller guide. All of this can be customized. So change out logos, change out, add your photo, your bio, your contact information. This one is a 14-page seller guide. These ones look really nice printed and bound at the office. Or you can send them over to like a Staples and have them print and bind it for you. We also have a investor guide. If you keep going down, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff here. We have a LAER guide to investing in real estate. So if you're working with somebody that's interested in investments, this is a book, just an 11-page booklet to talk about benefits of real estate investing. All of this is meant to be customized to you. And if you're a LAER agent, we have the LAER brochure here. We also have an expired listing packet. I see a lot of agents back out there calling on expired listings. So we have a nice booklet here. It's like a 9-page booklet about why your home did not sell the first time. And so this again is just a handout. You can go in and customize. And we have buyer questionnaires. There's just tons of stuff here for you to explore. I like this little local guide. The locals guide is super cute for, it's like a little mini newsletter. Let's say that you're doing, you have a listing in Delray Beach, for example. This little guide, you could make a little locals guide to Delray Beach, and you put your favorite farmers market, your favorite coffee shop, your favorite boutique. So it's just a little short excerpt about your 10 favorite places, and you call it a locals guide. You brand it to you. You put your name and contact info. Two things. One, these are super cute at a listing, like at a open house. So when you're doing your open house, you have something to give away. But also, these 10 people, the 10 businesses that you're focused on here, are a great place to leave your guide. So you go to the coffee shop and say, my name is Stacey Alcorn, I'm with LAER Realty, and I featured your coffee shop in my locals guide, the top 10 places to explore in this area. Would it be okay if I leave 25 of them at the coffee shop for local patrons to take a copy? So now you're actually providing value to the vendor and hopefully picking up some business for yourself. We also have these little Monopoly board flyers, very cute. We have one for buyers and one for sellers. It basically is the entire buying process or entire selling process, but it is in the form of a Monopoly board. So super cute, just to include into your buyer packages and seller packages. All kinds of other stuff here. I won't take you through everything because you should go through and kind of explore on your own for stuff. But I want to quickly make a list of the things that we're going to execute on. So number one thing that I think you should execute on is go to our YouTube station, because we're constantly adding great content to our YouTube station. We do live training all the time. And as you can already see, we're only 1 hour into the boot camp. You could see that everything we do at LAER is value packed. Not only that, everything we do at LAER is open for every agent at every firm. When we started our brokerage, our goal was to help every agent become the best version of themselves. And while we're very proud to be able to enhance the lives and businesses of the 850 real estate agents here at LAER, we also expand the influence we have on the lives and businesses of agents by helping agents outside our brokerage. Secondly, so go to youtube.com/LAER training. That way you'll just get a little message on your phone every time we upload new content. So a few times a week, it'll just say a new class on calendar mastery has just been uploaded to our site. Now let's talk about some of the things you need to do to further enhance your business. You need a listing presentation. I have a feeling many of you have a pretty good listing presentation, so you don't have to add that to your execution list if you already have a great presentation. But if you don't have a listing presentation, you have to have one. In my opinion, it is very difficult to ask a consumer to sign a contract if you're not showing them your value. So you have to show people your value, and that is your listing presentation. That is your buyer presentation. But also, these tools are also your checklist manifesto. So they are what will ensure the consistency of your business. And with that consistency comes confidence, and with the confidence comes more success. So you need a listing presentation and you need a buyer presentation. If you don't have these things, then you should go to laeragentservices.com, click on guides, presentations, brochures, and you have tons of them to choose from. There's no excuse. To build a great listing presentation or buyer presentation is a several day project if you're starting from scratch. So we've taken what could be a 20-hour project for you, and we've collapsed time so that in half an hour, you can have a phenomenal buyer presentation, a phenomenal listing presentation. Next, I think you should have a package. So a package is something that you hand to a buyer. A package is something you would hand to a seller. And I think you should have one for an investor too. So I think you should have these all pre-made. Everything goes into a folder with your branding on it. And you would have a buyer package, a seller package, and an investor package. Well, sometimes agents say, well, I'll worry about that when I get the appointment. I think that's a bad idea. I think having those all created and done is super powerful. So I would have 10 to 15 buyer packages all printed and complete. I'd have at least 10, 15 seller packages, 10, 15 investor packages. I'd have them all complete. I'd put them in a big Tupperware box within my car, so that if I am at a Starbucks and I hear somebody's talking about listing their home, I run out to my car, I get one of my listing packages, and I go in and back in, I introduce myself and say, my name is Stacey Alcorn. I heard that you were talking about perhaps listing your home, and that is my area of expertise. And I just ran out to my car and I got one of my packages for you so that you could see the services that I offer. It's really impressive when you give somebody more than a business card. A business card gets lost, they get thrown out. A package is something that people save. So you need a really good buyer, seller, and investor package. I also feel you should have these completed, all ready to go, because one of the things, if you've ever watched our training programs, we talk about is that we as humans are energy. So if you go out into the world and you already have all of your packages done, then you are telling through your energy You are telling the universe and everybody around you in every interaction you have that you are open for business. You are ready for business. When you are not ready for business, your energy portrays that. Your energy always gives you away and you don't even know it. So if you're not ready for business because you haven't done your listing presentation, you haven't done your buyer presentation, you don't have packages to give to somebody, if you are not ready for business, and you guys know this, how many times have you gone out and like you go to the food store, for example, and you're dressed in sweatpants, and in your mind you're like, please don't let me see anybody, please don't let me see anybody, like that, you give out energy that you're not open for business. So by having all of this ready, then you're telling through your energy the world that you are open for business. By the way, those packages, the buyer package, seller package, and investor package, everything is in the guides, presentations, brochure section that we just covered. So you'd put, like, for the buyer package, you'd put a buyer guide, maybe that little local guide newsletter. You could do the monopoly board of the buying process. There's a piece in there of your favorite vendors, like a vendor, forget what it's called, but if you go in there, we'll find it. A vendor directory. So it's a good idea to start building your vendor directory if you don't have one, because that's the same thing as database of this can become a massive sphere of influence for you if you market it properly. If you want help learning how to market it properly, you can join us every Monday. We do a live call with Michael Mayer, who wrote the book, The 7 Levels of Communication. You can learn more about that at laerrealty.com/finish strong. But trusted vendors is a phenomenal way to build a massive sphere of influence. Anyways, that can go into your buyer guide, your seller guide, and your investor guides as well. So everything you need is here. There's no excuse as to why you wouldn't have this. So these are all the things that need to be on your execution list. This is what you're going to go execute on after you leave today's program. There's a document here of NAR settlement resources. I hope you don't have to click on this. I don't think you need any of this anymore, but if you do, I mean, first of all, we wrote a playbook to all the new real estate forms for Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, Connecticut, Florida, and Rhode Island. So if you need help learning any of the forms or any of that, we did write literally a whole book. It's like a 150-page booklet of everything. So you can download that. You can actually click on the section you need, and it gives you an overview of the forms. We recorded videos on how to fill out the forms. It's like literally everything you need, but hopefully we're way past all that now. But we also have, if you need documents as to why it's important to have a buyer agent, or why it's important for a seller to pay a buyer agent, then we have all these great articles that you can download. So this is all under our NAR settlement toolbox section. I'm going to get rid of this section by the end of the year because I'm sick of talking about the NAR settlement. So the whole section is going to be deleted on for January 1st, because we're moving into a new 2025 where we don't have to talk about that anymore. But for now, we'll keep it there for another 2 months. We'll have our marketing team talk about the weekly social media assistant shortly and special marketing requests. There is a button here of open house resources that is kind of cool. Some of the resources available. First of all, we have little Canva sign-in sheets, interior signs. So if you want to direct people throughout the house and leave little signs about stuff, that's all in here. Feedback survey forms. We have like little pop-by tags if you want to give out popcorn like microwave popcorn as a cute little giveaway. We have little tags that say, thanks for popping by my open house. All of it's in Canva, all of it's customizable. We also have activity sheets for kids. So this is like 5 or 6 activity sheets. When you do open houses, we believe it's a good idea to have a little sectioned off area for kids with like coloring supplies and just to keep the kids busy so the parents can go look around the house. And then if you're a LAER agent and you need open house coverage by another LAER agent, we have a form you can fill out. It'll email everybody within the market area at LAER so that we can find somebody that covers the open house for you. Same if you're doing a broker open house, we have this document here. You could fill out this form and it helps you market to all of our agents so that everybody gets to find out about your broker open house. All of that is under the open house section of marketing. We also have a house that you can go explore with commercial resources. If you're exploring commercial real estate for your business, we have a commercial listing presentation, commercial valuation models, commercial logos, tons of information. So you want like a really good booklet that you could give out on a commercial listing presentation. This is like a 13-page book that our agents use both as a buyer and a listing presentation. But it's basically like a booklet format. And you'll see it covers everything from 1031 exchanges to lending. And it is 25 pages. So all on commercial stuff for those of you interested in that niche. We also have some commercial training resources down at the bottom of that section. Signs, apparel, and marketing I want to cover really quickly because there's some cool things in here. First, if you're a LAER agent, there's a lot of stuff in here for ordering all of these: D-Sign, Oakley Sign, Lowen Sign. Each of these links will take you to pages to order LAER branded signs, etc. Markful is also like apparel, LAER apparel, business cards, things like that. But really important for everybody is print marketing down at the very bottom here. So one of the pieces, these are all tools that you're going to want to add to your list of things that you're going to execute on. First of all, MLSmailings.com. They are a phenomenal resource for agents that like to do just listed, just sold postcards. So the cool thing about MLS mailings is it automates. It hooks into your MLS. So you go in and set it up once. You upload your photo, your contact information, your logo, and then you tell the system, every time I list a house, I want 200 postcards to go to all the neighbors of that house. Every time I sell a house, I want 200 postcards to go to all the neighbors that I sold the house. It hooks into your MLS so that once you set it up once, it just automatically sends your postcards to you. The pricing is basically roughly $1 to $1.26, depending on whether you want small or large postcards. And that's for, so 100 postcards going out is $127, including your postage. The really cool thing about MLS mailings, it's set it and forget it. So as a real estate professional, by the way, anytime you can find a product that is set it and forget it, you got to sign up. Because one of the things you'll come to learn is that it is really difficult to scale your business once you get up to about usually around $10 million a year in sales. It becomes difficult to scale because you only have so much time. So MLS mailings is one of those things that set it and forget it. So I say sign up for it. That way it's marketing for you, even when you forget to market because you're busy doing other things. So that's part one. That is the MLS mailings. Huge fan of it. By the way, I don't get paid anything to promote any of these products. I just think they're great. Next, The Personal Marketing Company. This is another one. This has been a game changer for some of our big teams. We have one team in particular that is literally, they've been with us for 10 years as LAER, and then we were with a franchise for 10 years before that. So we have one team that's been with us for about 20 years. And I've seen their business go from like $3 million a year in sales to like $70 million a year in sales. And they're really good at leveraging set it and forget it programs. And one of the products that that team uses is The Personal Marketing Company, TPMCO. TPMCO.com is the website, thepersonalmarketingcompany.com. And they have lots of products, as you will see when you go onto the site. But the one specifically that I went into is targeted marketing campaigns. The targeted marketing campaign that I recommend is this one. So you'll see for $48, it's a one-time charge of $48. You upload your photo and your contact information. And for one charge of $48, this company will send 21 mailings to your client over 5 years. So this is important because the National Association of Realtors statistics tell us that most consumers don't buy their next house from the same agent that sold them their last house. That's a statistic from the National Association of Realtors. The other statistic that the National Association of Realtors has for us is consumers say after they close on a property, most consumers say they would 100% use their agent again to buy another house. Statistically, however, we know that most consumers don't use the same agent to buy or sell our house. The next house. So whose fault is that? In most instances, it is the real estate agent who has not stayed in touch with the consumer because there's so much thought and work and energy that goes into selling a house that by the time the house is sold and they're happy and excited, and what do? Oftentimes the agent moves on to the next transaction because you have 5 more people that you're about to do the same thing with, to the point that you slowly forget about the one that you sold to. This is a wonderful way to make sure that that person never feels forgotten. So it's 21 mailings over 5 years. It's set it and forget it. So you don't have to think about like sending anything, even if you forget. By the way, even if you're doing all kinds of stuff to stay in touch with people, I still would do this for $48 to know that that person is not going to feel forgotten. And all the mailings look a little different. Some of them are a magazine, some of them are a postcard, some of them are a letter, but there's one thing in common. They all have your picture, your contact information, and your logo. So that is TPMCO, the Personal Marketing Company. I think that should be on your list of things to execute on because it ensures that you never like lose touch with a client. And by the way, the National Association of Realtors tells us most people move every 5 years. So that's why the 5-year number is a perfect number as well. Wise Pelican, another mailing company. I love Wise Pelican because they have a cool lead capture tool. It's very simple, but for agents that like to send out like neighborhood postcards where you do a postcard that is, do you want a free CMA on the house? Wise Pelican has this nice little lead capture form where it has this QR code, they scan the QR code, it takes them to a lead form where the person puts in their name and email address, and then you get emailed if the person fills out that little form. The reason that's important is because many agents forget to have a call to action on their mailer. So you do a huge mailer and there is no call to action. So this is a nice way to make sure that there is a call to action. Plus, Wise Pelicans print quality is just really beautiful as well. Yellow Letters Complete. This is a company that will handwrite your note cards if you want to. Let's say that the holidays are coming and you want to do a handwritten note card to 200 of your past clients and for Thanksgiving. Then this is the company that can do it, Yellow Letters Complete. They have two forms. You can do AI generated handwritten postcards, or they actually have humans that will write your handwritten note cards for you as well. So for those of you that like the personal touch of a handwritten note card, but it's not scalable for you, Yellow Letters Complete can do it all for you. And then I also include RSP, data-driven marketing, in here. Many of our Florida agents love them. I kind of love them too. This is a little bit hard to see, but they have these awesome little mailers that they do where you basically put in a property address of a recent sale. Let's just say you're targeting a condo complex, which many of our Florida agents, it's all homeowners associations. You could do a whole mailer to the condo association and it's got your name, your contact information. But what's cool about it is it shows all the sales in the neighborhood. And when they flip it over, it shows all the sales that recently took place in the neighborhood with some of the photos, etc. So it tends to be a piece that people keep. They hold on to it because it's got good information about what's happening within the neighborhood for their own sales. So that's the RSP, data-driven marketing, under that. So these are all set it and forget it. At least the TPMCO and the MLS mailers, set it and forget it, are really important. Roar report. In real estate, there are two different types of newsletters that we as agents can utilize in our business. One is an email newsletter. This is not that. One is a print newsletter. If you like sending a print newsletter or having a print newsletter that you distribute monthly, then we have got the perfect product for you, which is our Roar report. All of this can be customized, by the way. You'll see as you go through our newsletter, there's red circles around the areas to remind you to go in and update those areas with your contact information. But our team writes a new newsletter every month. The way agents use this is either as a mailer or to distribute to local businesses like coffee shops, etc. As well, for those agents that are using this as a mailer, one thing to note is you can customize any of this. So for example, let's just say you have a mortgage team that is sponsoring your mailer. You could put an advertisement in here for the mortgage company, or you could write a little article about the mortgage company. We talked a little bit about the vendor lists a little bit earlier. If you are building your sphere of influence using your vendor list, this newsletter is a great way to feature your vendors on a monthly basis. So all of that is under the Roar report. Our team updates this monthly. So every month a new version comes out. If you're a LAER agent, there's tons of logos and images under this house. So if you need any type of logo for your business or anything like that. And then there's a whole section here of seasonal pop-by tags. So many of our agents are out visiting their past clients every month. And we always say, never go empty-handed, bring a little item of value with you. And so each month we have all different ones. So for the fall, we have the pumpkin spice, pumpkin, jack-o'-lantern. So for example, some of our agents I know use these for their pop buys just in the last couple of weeks, that they brought like little carving tools and dropped them as a pop-by gift at their past customers' houses. And then these are just labels. So you can print these off and customize them, put them onto your little carving toolkit, and it gives you a reason to stop by a past customer's house because you have a little gift that you want to drop by for them to make yourself more unforgettable. But you'll see we have tons of those. We have popcorn, we have lemonade, honey, oranges. There's tons of them to choose from. But these are just so that when you're delivering a little item of value, that it makes you memorable and it's never expensive, something inexpensive, and always customized to you. Okay, so that is the seasonal pop by tag. The next section is agent growth and development, which you will see right here. I'm just gonna, actually, I'm gonna have, before I do the agent growth and development, for some reason my computer's not charging, so I want to fix my computer charge. And while I do that, I think I'm going to introduce our Chief Sustainability Officer, since he was coming up in a few minutes anyways. And then Craig's going to talk to you about sustainability. I'll get my computer back to charging so I don't shut off by accident. And then we'll come back and cover some more. So with that, I want to introduce Craig Foley, our Chief Sustainability Officer.
Thanks so much, Stacey. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring up my slide deck while you do your thing. Yeah, I think you've said so much today. I mean, I enjoy coming to the boot camp every month because I always learn something new. But Katie Johnson, it was kind of cool to see her reaction. You give all of this stuff out for free to people, even to other brokerages. And absolutely, Katie, we do. And it's one of the things I love working about with Stacey on, particularly with the work that I do, that we're kind of open source, and we're there to kind of move markets forward, I think is the best way to describe it. Make everybody's business better, particularly in this changing environment that we're dealing with. I think this is the way to go. So I'm greatly appreciative of how kind of open source we are. And Stacey, I would even say with your listing deck, you know, even if you've already got a listing deck, it never hurts to go through other people's listing decks and see what their point of view is, because, you know, there can be little tiny changes in language that we're using that can really be impactful with just a slightly different talking point.
100%.
So my name's Craig Foley, as Stacey said. I've been involved in this intersection of real estate and sustainability for quite a while, and do a lot of work with our national trade organization, National Association of Realtors, on this work as well. Very excited. The executive committee appointment that I have was just extended for 2 years by President Sears. And this last year was an interesting year to be on executive committee. There was a lot going on, obviously, with the settlement and how we were dealing with that. So I had a front row seat to be able to see how we were going to move in that space. But that executive committee role that I serve is actually brand new. It started this year in 2024, and it's specifically focused. We have now some subject matter experts that are on the executive committee, and one is the sustainability role. So I'm thrilled to be asked to extend my work with NAR on the executive committee through 2026. Just some numbers to start to think about, right? Consumers are very aware of a changing climate, of the impact that U.S. firms, companies have on a changing climate. And this is just from some data from Shelton Group, which is a well-known marketing team that markets sustainability for S&P 500 companies. And their data suggests that 74% of U.S. consumers are making purchasing decisions based on a company's environmental reputation. 74% US consumers making purchasing decisions based on a company's environmental reputation. That's a pretty powerful number. And there aren't many real estate companies in the country that are really looking at this as a market engagement tool to help consumers understand that we have agents that are trained to think about high performance, green homes, eco-friendly homes, whatever your term is, whatever language that you use. We've been, I think we're the top firm in the country that really engages our agents and consumers in this space. Just a really recent article just popped out on Realtor Magazine. The counselors of real estate brought up their top issues that will impact real estate in 2025. One of them was, of course, insurance costs. Another one is sustainability. You know, just the fact that we're seeing so many billions of dollars impacting the real estate marketplace, residential and commercial, because of fires and floods. And this article makes a really good point. The urgency for prioritizing sustainability and climate resilience has never been more apparent and important. And of course, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I'm going to throw into the chat, just so you have it, a registry. It's called the Green Building Registry. I just dropped it in there right now. And I would challenge you all to just open that registry up. And in the search, put in a community that you live or work in, and take a look at the number of homes that pop up on that registry with significant high performance home improvements. You know, you can see here in Massachusetts over 192,000 homeowners, almost 193,000 homeowners have invested to make their home more resilient to a changing climate, more energy efficiency, or perhaps even added renewables onto their home. And I think if you look, you know, if I live in Melrose, Massachusetts, we have about 6,000 homes. So if I were to open up the map of Melrose, it would show me, you know, almost 700 homes that homeowners have invested in these high performance home improvements. I can scroll down to specific addresses. So you can get, when you use the Green Building Registry, specific addresses, and then of course we can find their names on the public records of who owns that home. And the Green Building Registry has the improvements that they've made on those homes, you know? And you can say, well, Massachusetts, you know, it's really hyper green and stuff, but here's New Hampshire growing all the time, and here's Florida, right? Doesn't really have the same political will to move the ball forward with green home improvements that Massachusetts does. But look, they have over 200,000 homes in their state with significant green building improvements. So this is the Green Building Registry is really great. I use it all the time when I teach because I think it opens eyes for realtors about how much activity is actually happening and what you may be missing when you're listing a home with these significant green building improvements in them. Just you know, just a quick note about Massachusetts and how advanced our building codes are. We are definitely encouraging in this state decarbonization, electrification of homes. The specialized stretch energy code option for local communities is the most rigorous code in the United States, rigorous building code in terms of energy efficiency and renewables in the United States. We do a lot of focus on training here, and we're very proud to say that we have the most green designated agents in Massachusetts at our firm. So we have agents that are knowledgeable and competent in this part of the marketplace. And part of what I do as the Chief Sustainability Officer for the firm is I get a couple of phone calls a week now, or texts or emails saying, hey, Craig, I'm helping a buyer buy a home with solar panels on it. What do I do? Or, hey, Craig, I'm listing a home with solar PV. What do I do? How do I value this in the marketplace? So that's, you know, we want you to be knowledgeable and competent on your own. I'll definitely answer that phone call and that question for all of our agents, but particularly our green designated agents, because they've spent time, energy, and money to be a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more fluent in this, and they may need a reminder about what to do. So education is really critical here. We're also tracking, and we're the only residential company that I know of in the United States that's tracking our high performance home sales. So when you go to fill out your check request, and I'm assuming you all like to get paid when you sell a home, when you go to fill out your check request, you'll see that there is a checkbox for features that may be in a home that you're helping a buyer buy or a seller sell, right? On the left-hand column are some pretty typical high-performance home features for energy efficiency and renewables. That comes from MLS PIN. And on the right, in the storm protection piece, that comes from our beaches MLS in Florida, because a lot of Florida homeowners are obviously making their home more resilient to a changing climate and extreme weather events. Those all definitely fit into the category of high performance home improvements. So please, when you are filling out your check request, if your home has any of these features, or even some that aren't listed, you can use the box over on the right to put in, maybe they have landscaping that's drought tolerant or something like that isn't in here. You can write that in over on the right hand category. And it's it's a cheap joke, but there's 50 shades of green out there, right? All of them are good. So if you see something that's not included here, please fill it in on the right hand column over on the right. This is from the buyers and sellers high performance listing decks that Stacey already shared with you. Again, you can rip them off. You can take the content. You can change, to your company's logo, your information, obviously. But this is one of the things that we talk about in the buyer's agency deck is climate risk, right? There is a lot of home buyers now, particularly with everything that's in the news, that are aware about climate risk. And we have a way to be able to talk about that with home buyers, about climate vulnerability, about climate action, excuse me, climate action plans, and how to use that information to help buyers do their own due diligence about the properties that they're interested in buying. This is in our listing deck, the right to a qualified appraiser. Many agents aren't aware of this, but we all know we can't pick a specific appraiser, or a lender can't anymore, excuse me, but we can demand a qualified appraiser as a listing agent. So this is something that we teach in the green designation about how to demand a qualified appraiser, an appraiser that's gone through the Valuation of Sustainable Buildings program that the Appraisal Institute offers. And then the document over on the right, the addendum to the URAR for high performance homes. Another piece here that's in our decks, the difference between hiring a green designated agent and any agent. And as Stacey will tell you, there is a lot of risk out there in the marketplace for particularly listing homes with high performance features where the listing agent's not knowledgeable and competent in this part of the business, and they're literally leaving money on the table for their sellers, which is egregious as far as we're all concerned. We get a lot of focus for this, through NAR. We're a real leader in the space. Stacey and I have done a lot of presentations for the National Association of Realtors. And Stacey, you've got a booth at the exhibition hall, right, for NAR next year in Boston coming up.
100%. So if anybody's coming to Boston next week for the National Association of Realtors event, please stop by our LAER booth. We'd love to meet you. I know lots of our agents are attending as well. You'll be getting an email if you're one of our LAER agents. I think we have around 30 or 40 that are attending. Make sure to stop by the booth, but also we have an email going out to all of our attendees so that we have some cool swag for our attendees. But for anybody else attending, make sure to stop by our booth and say hello.
Nice. Yeah, so getting a lot of attention here. I just want to point this out. that this competence requirement is in our code of ethics too, Stacey, right? I mean, it's very clear. Article 11 of our code of ethics says you need to be competent in the homes that you're selling. And I would argue that a home with significant high performance features, like the ones that are listed in the Green Building Registry, Stacey, homes with solar PV or HERS scores, right, that it demands an agent that's knowledgeable about how that type of property is valued, and there is a different value process. It's not just about comps. With, for instance, host-owned solar PV, we can use an income approach to add contributory value to that listing, and to understand the resources that are out there. So I feel very strongly about this, Stacey. We've got to be very careful about agents not being knowledgeable and competent, listing high-performance homes, and I try to do the best I can to deal with the questions coming in from our agents to keep the risk off your plate. But there's a lot of potential risk out there, I think. And then just in closing, I'm going to throw this one out to the Inflation Reduction Act. I'll throw in a link to this in the chat. But there are incredible federal tax incentives. If you have any kind of a tax appetite, like so many of our agents that have had great years, Stacey, there's a great way to reduce your tax burden right now through the IRA to improve your home, to make it more sustainable, to make it more resilient to a changing climate, to make it more energy efficient. And the federal government will take money off from what you owe the federal government on your taxes by making these investments as well. So I'll throw that into the deck, into the chat in just a second. NAR is really moving forward with this stuff. This is our strategic plan. You can see climate changes in there, and us becoming a recognized leader in the space. We've got a ton of tools in that sustainability piece that Stacey was talking about out there for you to be more fluent, to be more knowledgeable about this part of the marketplace. So that's it for me, Stace.
All right, awesome stuff. And as Craig mentioned, it is definitely becoming in all of our marketplaces. Like, I feel like it's almost essential to get green designated because of all the things that are happening around climate change, and just understanding sustainability in general. So I'm a huge proponent of going out there, getting your green designation. We're working at coming up with some new rules in our own brokerage. For example, when a property gets listed with solar panels, we believe that that listing should be with an agent that is green designated, because there's just so much potential liability for agents that don't understand the nuances of the solar contracts, things like that. So I think we're going to see more of that in our industry. If anything, if our industry has learned anything over the last 12 months, is that we have to insulate ourselves from liability in every possible way. And one of the ways that you can insulate yourself and your brokerage from liability is by being very educated in the dynamics of certain nuances of the business. Specifically, I think sustainability is a big one. So definitely get out there and get your green designation.
Yeah, I mean, every team, Stacey, in the United States of America, but certainly at LAER, needs a green designated agent on that team.
100%. All right, we are back and my computer is charging. So we are in good shape. I don't think I'll shut off all of a sudden. So going back to our LAER Agent Services page, I want to spend a few minutes going through the agent growth and development section. So we have 3 houses here for you to explore when it comes to agent growth and development. The first is classes, meeting, and coaching. So under classes, meetings and coaching, first piece that we want to explore is, first of all, you could take the LAER boot camp. So that's what you're on today. But also, if you click on that link, it'll take you over to the YouTube station so you can watch the recording afterwards. Also, if you're a LAER agent, you'll want to register for our monthly sales meeting. It's always on the second Wednesday of every month, and it's 1 hour long. It's always jam-packed with good info. This month specifically, you'll want to attend because we're about to make an announcement regarding a really cool partnership with Fellow to help you develop your CRM into leads, listing leads. You can also check out our training calendar. As mentioned earlier, everything we do is open to every agent of every firm. So even if you're not a LAER agent, you're welcome to attend any of our classes each month. This is our LAER training calendar. And if you go to the very bottom of this calendar, you can actually integrate this calendar with your own calendar so that you never miss one of our classes. It'll basically be an overlay onto your calendar so that each day when you log in, you could say, oh, LAER is doing a class today on Canva Unleashed, for example, so you don't miss anything. But more importantly, if you're subscribed to our YouTube station, you'll literally never miss anything because everything we do, every live training class we do ends up coming over to our YouTube station at youtube.com/LAER training. So you can go here, you'll see just in the past couple of weeks, we did a class on leveraging ChatGPT, Canva Unleashed. Once a month, our social media team does a phenomenal 1 hour program on social media mastery. We do classes on cloud CMA, literally every aspect of your business we include on our regular training series. You'll also see under here, we have a phenomenal coaching program. This is for LAER agents only. Although I'm going to show you in a minute for every agent that there's an opportunity for you to use our systems to grow your business. But if you're a LAER agent and you also want to be coached, you could sign up for our free coaching program. We pair you with a trained coach within our brokerage. And it's basically 2 calls a month for 6 months. And it's all based off of our Algorwin program, which I'll show you in just a moment. Also, there's a section here for brand new agents, a new agent resource section, which is phenomenal, where we've created little help guides on like a real estate agent's guide to home inspections, a real estate agent's guide to lead paint, procuring cause, best practices. So it's stuff we're really proud of. Like this is our real estate guides to home inspections. And if you're a new agent, this is just absolutely phenomenal. It's like a 50-page booklet on every aspect of a home, from like the roof, the mechanical systems, the foundation, like all the things that go into understanding what a home has and what it offers and the benefits of each type of system, things like that. So I recommend that you go check this out. I forget the number of pages it is, but it's a massive resource. So we make these little guides to help you in your business.
When you were just going through that, Stace,
Yes.
I realized I've been wanting to say this for a while. Now I'm going to just say it live right here. Is that we need to add a section in there in the inspection guide about proper ventilation.
I love it.
And you've got the plumbing piece in there, right in there.
Yeah. Ventilation.
Yep.
All right, I made a note.
Thanks.
And then we also have tutorials. We don't have all the states yet. We have, we've been making little tutorial forms on how to fill out all the different forms for real estate. We're working on updating all these because some of the forms have changed. Also, we're working because we've expanded rapidly into Maine. We're working on developing the videos for all of the Maine real estate agents as well. But you'll find Mass, New Hampshire, and Florida tutorials on how to do all the real estate forms. So that's all under the new agent resource section. Let's go back just for a moment to the LAER Agent Services. Under Agent Growth and Development, we just went to classes, meetings, and coaching, but now we're going to head over to business plans and growth systems. So we take business planning very seriously here. We have 3 different resources for you to consider. Number 1 is our Alcorn growth system. This is a phenomenal booklet for any agent, in my opinion. But basically, we wrote a guide to help agents to get to 30 transactions a year. So this is a step-by-step guide. It is built off of 7 checklists. Remember the checklist manifesto. So the guide is built off of 7 checklists. A yearly checklist, which is 12 items that an agent should do once a year. A monthly checklist, which is 9 items a real estate agent should do once a month. A weekly checklist, which is 9 items an agent should do once a week. Then we have a checklist for a listing appointment, the 9 things you should do on a listing appointment, the 9 things you should do on a buyer appointment, the 9 things you should do when you get a new listing, and the 9 things you should do regarding your client appreciation events. It is a foolproof guide on how to build a successful business. The booklet, it's a workbook format. It's about 100 pages long. Any of the items that we've included in the checklist, we show you how to do it. So it has a whole section on how to complete the tasks that are part of the checklist. By the way, you can go down and at the very bottom here, you can download the entire workbook. If you're a LAER agent, by the way, to download the PDF of the workbook, you have to fill out a little form here. So we just know a little bit about you. And then you'll immediately get the PDF of this booklet. If you're a LAER agent, we send it to you as part of joining the brokerage. It comes as part of your welcome box. If you've been here for a while and you need an updated copy of the Alcorn book, feel free just to email Happy Agent. We can send you the actual workbook, but you can also just download it here as well. So it's a phenomenal booklet. One of the things that agents have a challenge with is when you don't have any business to work on, what should you be working on? The Alcorn system is the book that helps you plan out every single day so you know what you should be working on throughout the day to develop your business. We also have a second guide here. This is like, I believe, 47 pages, and it's a booklet. This is a traditional business plan, this one. So this is where you really focus on your numbers from last year, where your business came from, how much money you need to make, how many appointments you need to take based on your previous conversion rate. This is a typical business plan. This document is great for agents that want a traditional plan, but it's also great if you're running a team to print this out and bring it to your team meeting and go through it with your team so the entire team is working through it together. The third one is a simple plan. This is also a plan, a different type of business plan that we developed because it really focuses on if you want to break out of the mold of the business you're doing now. By the way, most real estate agents, if you're a $2 million real estate agent, most agents will do within a 5 or 10% variance of what they did the year before. So it is not uncommon for agents to do the same amount of business year after year after year, which is wonderful if you're happy with the results of that. Some agents are not. They say, forget it. I don't want to do $2 million a year in sales. I need to be at $5 million in sales in order to accomplish my goals. So how do you break out of, how do you go from becoming a $2 million to a $5 million agent, or from a $5 million to a $10 million agent? To break out of the mold of what you've done up until now, you have to become a different version of yourself. So this guide is one that we created to help you think about who is the person you need to become in order to get to the level that you want to be producing at. Who do you need to become? And then we backtrack, what steps do you have to take to become that version of you? So it's a different type of workbook than many agents are used to working with. It has you really focus on current conditions and then conditions a year from now, things like that, like the little tweaks you can make. And it's really to help you create an awareness about the pieces of you that need to change a little bit to become this different version of who you already are. And then we also have this IPA checklist. That's an income producing activity checklist. It's just a great trigger list so that when you are slow, you don't have a lot of business coming in, that it's giving you ideas of stuff that you can go work on so that you're working on stuff that's going to produce income for you. All right, let's see. If you're in need of continuing ed classes too, we also have a partnership with the CE shop. They have tons, not only do they have CE classes, but licensing. I love the CE shop for my own stuff because I have a whole bunch of licenses and it keeps all my certificates nice and organized. So I don't get caught up in like, did I take a class? When did I take the class? Where do I find the certificate? All of my certificates are in one place. Plus the CE shop, if you have multiple licenses, you take a class and it'll say, hey, by the way, you can use this for your Maine license too, or for your Florida license too. And for like $10, it'll give you additional certificates that you can use for additional states. Okay. Agent toolbox is down here as well. We'll go through some of the LAER technology tools shortly, but before I do that, a couple things. Whoops. A couple things I wanted to just point out under the LAER technology tools section that are really important. Number one, the listing description generator. Any agent from any firm can use this. It's an AI listing description generator. So if you click on this, agents have become addicted to this. It takes like 3 minutes to fill this out. You put in your property address, how many paragraphs do you want for your listing description? You check off some boxes, you fill out some of the main features, and our system will write your listing description. So it's a huge time saver. Of course, go through and read it once it gets emailed to you. When you fill this out, the generator immediately emails you your listing description. So, and you can cut and paste it into whatever you want to use. I always warn everybody, make sure that there's no inadvertent fair housing issues within the description. So you have to just go through and read it and make sure that it didn't accidentally use like walk-in closet or something like that. But other than that, agents absolutely love it. It can do in 30 seconds what it might take you a couple hours to come up with on your own. We also have that for agent bio generator as well. I think sometimes we forget that when we go on a listing presentation or a buyer presentation, we're applying for a job. So I think it's a good idea to have a really good bio and a really good resume that talks about who you are and what makes you different. And this agent bio generator will create a great bio for you. You'll see this as part of our Algorwin program in the workbook. We spend a lot of time helping you build your reputation online because in the world we live in, the first thing a consumer will do when they're introduced to a stranger is go Google the person. So as you're getting introduced to new buyers and sellers, from your previous buyers and sellers, oftentimes that new consumer is going to immediately go and Google your name to see who you are. And you want your website to have a really good bio, your LinkedIn to have a good bio. Everywhere they look, you want it to say professional, like you know what you're doing, that you're in real estate. And so we have a nice, simple bio generator. Both of our generators are fine for agents of any firm. You don't have to be a LAER agent. Whatever email you put into the system, it's going to just email you the bio that you ask it to create, or the listing description that you ask it to create. I do also want to scroll very down further. We're going to go, some of these are some of the LAER tools we'll talk about in a little bit, but there's some other cool tools down here that I want to just point out. One is Xiaomi. So this is a really cool service. This is like the Uber of real estate. It's on-demand showing agents, Xiaomi. Have you ever had like a super busy weekend? You have like showings all day tomorrow, and then you find out at night that your kid is sick and you're not going to be able to make the showings tomorrow because you have a sick kid at home, and you're like, great, I have 6 showings set up for tomorrow and I'm not going to be able to make it. Xiaomi is the answer. It's an app that you download and you could pay somebody else to go show those houses for you. You're paying a licensed real estate agent for the marketplace. Xiaomi has them fill out all these forms to make it very clear that they have no right to that customer whatsoever. So you are well protected. That the agent's not going to steal your customer away. They cannot, under the Xiaomi agreements that they have signed. They understand they're just getting paid for a service, which is opening the door and showing somebody a house. So this is a great answer for agents that you have to go on vacation, you have last minute showing. All of a sudden your client wants to look at a house that's 2 hours away. And you're like, that's not where you were looking for houses, but I saw this wonderful house that's 2 hours away. Set it up on Xiaomi, let somebody else. And basically you set what you're willing to pay for that showing. I'm not going to go through HomeBot. I think HomeBot AI is a really cool AI. It basically is, I'll show you what it is. Basically, it sends a monthly newsletter to everybody in your database as to what the value of their house is worth. LAER's about to announce a partnership with Fellow next week, which does virtually the same thing. Fellow is also an AI generated. It gives the consumer consistent and ongoing updates as to the value of their property, and helps scrub your database to find the people most likely to sell. Home value leads, if you're doing any Facebook marketing, home value leads is a really cool product for lead capture. It's really for if you're doing Facebook ads and you want to send people to a page that's going to give a home value for them, the system will create the home value. And then Exposio. If I'm a huge fan of professional photography. I think you're crazy if you're a real estate agent not using professional photography on your listings. That is what the consumer is hiring us for, is to market the property properly. In my opinion, you're not marketing the property properly if you're doing iPhone photos. That being said, if you must use iPhone photos, then at least use Exposio. Exposio turns your photos into a higher quality exposure of the photo. In my opinion, it's not as good as professional photos, but it's close. It's much better than a plain iPhone photo. It makes your photos like really stand out. So Exposio, basically, I think they charge $1 per photo. So let's say you go to your listing and you take 50 photos with your iPhone. It'll upload them into your Exposio app. It'll say, here's all 50 photos and what they will look like if we re-expose them. so that they look nicer. It shows you all of them. And then the ones you want to download, you just pick which ones you want to download and they'll charge you $1 for each one. And that's if you're not signing up for their subscription platform, because there's discounts the more you do. But just assuming you're not doing the discounts or the monthly program, it's basically $1 per photo and they'll make them look super nice for you. So that's all under the Exposio app. Whoops, just got kicked out. Let's see. You guys got to hear from Craig Foley today, who talked about sustainability. We have all kinds of sustainability resources here. So anytime Craig is referenced in an article, etc., you'll see those articles down here. But anything that Craig referenced today, I guarantee you it's already under our sustainability section on our site. So like the Pearl certification, a wonderful marketing program for sustainable properties. Craig talked about the Green Building Registry. Here's the link to it. So anytime an agent emails into our Happy Agent system and says, hey, I heard Craig talk about this. Do you know where I can find it? I always say, go back to LAER Agent Services and click under sustainability, because when Craig gives us information, that's where we typically post it. Let's see, that's our sustainability section. We also have a library of other stuff. If you're a LAER agent, we have a button here for getting paid. That's our LAER check request system, where you can download e-checks. We have links to the Earnest portal. You could check your check status. Try to make getting paid as simple as possible. And then we also have a section on agent safety. So we wrote our own guide to agent safety for making sure you guys stay safe and little things that you can do to remain safe on the job, as well as there's all kinds of tools here for agents from the Beverly Carter Foundation link for all kinds of safety information for real estate agents. There's smartphone apps for voice activated alarm systems. We have a link to Invisaware, which is really cool jewelry and keychains that are also alarm systems, so that if you're ever find yourself in a scary predicament. So all kinds of great resources around safety are built in there. And then down here we have our office and agent directories, etc. But we are already running low on time, and we have a couple other speakers I want to make sure you hear from. First of all, I want to have Sergio from our marketing team come on and give you guys a quick view of the marketing resources available at LAER. Some of the stuff he's going to cover is really LAER focused, but he's also going to give you some helpful tips on Canva, which is helpful for everybody watching today. So with that, we will have Sergio go over marketing at LAER.
Thanks, Stacey. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, so I'm going to go fairly quickly. I'm just going to go over a couple of our features that we have, or a couple of our programs that we have for our LAER agents. One of them being the LAER marketing bundle. So as a LAER agent, when your home goes live on the MLS, our team gets to work. We create a brochure as well as social media pieces for your listing. You get everything you need to market your listing. The social media pieces are from just listed all the way to sold, and then they're delivered to you via email as ready-to-use pieces. So the brochures you can download as PDFs and then print them out at any of our offices, or if you have a home printer, you can print it out there, or you can even go send it out to get it printed professionally. And then the social media is sent to you as ready-to-use images that you can post on any kind of social media. You can send it via text message. You can use it on Instagram, Facebook. Alongside that, we also give you Canva templates. So Just like all the other marketing that we have here at LAER, we like to share Canva templates with our agents because it makes it easy for our agents to go in and customize their brochure even further. If they have a price change down the line, they can customize it. And it really works well in terms of collaboration as well. So if we are, working on a design together with an agent, if there's a special design, Stacey mentioned there is a special marketing request button on our LAER agent services page. You can click on. That just takes you to a form. Give us as much info as you can about your particular marketing project. And then our team will get to work. We have a great design staff that can help you get the right design for what you need. So if you're doing an ad, we'll give you both the final file as well as a Canva template that you can use and always have. So I'm going to give you a live demo of first our marketing bundle. So when you have a listing, again, within 24 hours of your listing going live on the MLS, we'll send you an email that looks just like this. So we have 3 links. We have 2 Canva templates as well as a link to download your bundle. The download bundle link just takes you to a Google Drive folder, which, as I mentioned earlier, these are all ready to use, right? So we have a PDF that you can print directly from your browser, or you can download as a PDF and then save it to your computer and then send it out. And then our social media pieces, that these are just PNGs that you can download and then use. The top 2 links are Canva templates. So we have our brochure. And as long as you're signed into Canva, it will open up in your own Canva account. I'm going to make a copy of this just so I can show you how easy it is to edit your, for example, for your listing brochure. Canva is a really great design platform. It's all on the cloud, so you're not trading files back and forth. You can work on it on your laptop, on an app, on your iPad. And if you have any changes, it's really easy to just, click in here. Let's say you did have a price reduction and you make the quick changes. If you want to change over any of the photos, these are all drag and drop. So if I go to uploads, I can go to upload files and upload some images. I don't have any sample ones, but I can choose ones that we've done before. And very quickly, I can just drag and drop, change the order of the photos around, maybe change the front photo here. And it's very easy to update all of this template. When I'm ready to use it, I can click on share and then download. And then I can download this as a PDF and then print it out. So it's the same with our social media. And then within Canva, I can click on share and then click on see all. There is a social section here where you can connect your Instagram or Facebook and post directly to social media from your Canva account. We have some other helpful resources here. One of them being the 4-page brochure. So if you click on this link here, you can order a 4-page brochure. Just give us as much info as you can about the listing, and then upload high resolution images. So we need at least 16, and then we'll deliver a 4-page brochure. And this comes in handy if you are doing, more of a luxury property. You get a nice brochure that looks like this. You get a PDF. It's up to you to print it out. You can have it printed out at FedEx or, again, any of our offices. This prints out on 11 by 17 paper and just folds in half. So it's a really great, way to feature a listing, that has a lot of images. Okay, so the next program that I'm going to cover is our LAER Social Media Assistant. So every Monday, our agents will get all of the social media they need for the whole week. So this includes 7 to 10 social media posts, both, again, as ready-to-use images and Canva templates. We also include suggested captions and hashtags, as well as some pretty compelling images that you can use. And again, this is delivered to you every Monday morning, both by text message and by email. You don't have to keep getting the text message. You can just reply stop, but you'll always receive the email. So let's do a live demo of that. One sec. So you get an email that looks just like this. And then let me sign into our example Facebook here. It looks like just like this. Again, we give you everything you need. This is the latest one that we sent. At the beginning of the month, we sent some Facebook covers that you can use, and then some nice social media pieces. So we have one about home staging. To use it, you just click on download to download the image, and then you can copy and paste the caption. So I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to navigate here to my sample group just to show you how easy it is to post. I'm going to post on Facebook, but you can use it on any social media. It can be on Instagram, on X, anything you'd like. So I'm going to add my image, and then we're going to paste. Let me go back and grab my caption. And then the caption itself, I can add some of my information, or I can remove some of this. I can really customize it to fit in my local market, the intended audience that I want. And then once I'm ready to post, I can just click on post. You can also schedule things out through Canva, as well as Facebook Business. And that's it, very easily. I have my post and it's all posted and ready to go. Now we cover the whole week, so you can sit, for an hour on Monday morning, schedule everything out, and then you're all set for the rest of the week. So again, this is if you're a LAER agent, you get this every Monday morning, both via text message and email. And that's it.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Sergio. All right, next up we have, let's see how much time we have. 40 minutes. Okay, we have a lot to cover in 40 minutes. So first off, while I bring up, I'm going to go back to our LAER program and services guide. So as just a quick recap on a few things. First, we spent a great deal of time today on the LAER agent services page. Regardless what company you work for, you should bookmark this page because there's so many incredible resources available to you on this page. It's laeragentservices.com. I then want to go back to the program guide that we started with this morning. But before I do that, I want to just recap a list of things for you to execute on. As I said first thing this morning, I don't want you to leave today and go work in your business and get really busy and not execute on any of the stuff we spoke about today. So it's really important to focus on the execution part. Here's some of the things I think you should execute on if you don't already have these as part of your business. Number one, please subscribe to our YouTube station only because we add unbelievable content every single week. It's youtube.com/LAER training, LAER training. You won't be disappointed. It's not obnoxious. It just pings you every time we add a new training program. It'll say new class uploaded. Number two, you need a great listing presentation. Head over to our marketing resources here, marketing, branding, and presentations. All the stuff we spent the morning covering is under guides, presentations, brochures. Same with the buyer presentation. We have several to choose from, at least 3 buyer presentations to choose from under that link. And it comes down to having a checklist manifesto for your business and articulating the value so that you don't feel funny asking somebody to sign a contract with you to go look at houses. Super easy to ask somebody to sign something when you spent 20 minutes to a half an hour articulating all the value you bring to the table. 4, you should have a buyer package, a seller package, and an investor package. By having all of your packages ready, put them into a big Tupperware bin with a cover on it that you keep in your car so that when you hear of somebody thinking about buying or selling a house, basically the energy you will put out into the world is that you're open for business all the time because you have the potential energy, those packages, sitting in your car. So the energy of that will go out and create business for you. I also talked about set it and forget it systems today. I would highly recommend MLSmailings.com. That's the set it and forget it, just listed, just sold postcards. I also highly recommended TPMCO, the personal marketing company, TPMCO.com, the personal marketing company, for the $48 5-year campaign. So every time you close on a property, you automatically do the 5-year campaign. So the person does not forget you, even if you forgot about them. Next, the bio generator. I showed you under these tools that we have a nice bio generator. Any agent can use it. It was under technology tools. Here we have a listing description generator and an agent bio generator. This is really important because one of the pieces that we stress as part of the Alcorn business growth system that we have is if you Googled you, would you hire you? One of the things I would add to your list of things to do, and by the way, we've already gone through 6 items that you should go execute on if you don't already have these for your business. Number 7 would be to go Google your name or Google your name in real estate and see what comes up. Because for many agents, what comes up is not great. And remember that what many consumers do as soon as they're introduced to a stranger, such as a real estate agent, is they're going to go Google the person. And I want you to go Google you and see if you would hire you if you Googled you. And if the answer is no, then it starts with doing a couple simple things. Generate a really good bio. Spend some time working on it, but use our agent bio generator. It should take 5 minutes to develop a really nice bio about who you are and what makes you different. Then you get to update. When you Google yourself, there's certain pages that are listed on page 1 of the Google search. For example, it's going to have a realtor.com page. Most of you don't even realize that realtor.com has created a profile for you. Most of you don't realize that it's one of the first links that will come up when somebody Googles you. Because you don't realize that you even have a realtor.com profile page, it hasn't been updated in a while. It either has no photo of you, or it has a very old photo. So you should update your photo, update your bio on all of the pages, including realtor.com, that are on the first page of a Google search. Update everything that is on the first page of the Google search. Not only with a really good bio, but a professional photo as well. Remember, you're a marketer. You're in the marketing business. So a consumer's not going to feel good if they Google your name because they got introduced to you and they go to different pages on your Google search and they see different companies you worked for, old photos, because they're going to think, how does this affect me? Well, they don't know how to market because they'd have a professional photo of themselves. or they see different real estate brokerage names. All of that should be updated so that they look at there, they see where you work currently, they see your bio, they see a professional photo, so that they feel comfortable that they don't have to keep searching. So go Google you. And if you don't love what you see when you Google you, then start working on that. Start checking off the list and making your Google search wonderful. It is not a lot of work. In 1 hour, you can update all the pages. So it's typically realtor.com page, your company website, your personal website, and sometimes your Facebook will come up first. Just make sure it all looks professional. So those are the main things I would say. So number 1, YouTube, 2, listing presentation, 3, buyer presentation, 4, have all your packages complete, a buyer, seller, investor package, 5, MLS mailing, 6, the personal marketing company, 7, a really good bio on everywhere that you talk about real estate. And because remember, you're applying for a job. It's just like you wouldn't go on job interview to a Fortune 500 company with a blank resume. So don't give the people who are Googling you a blank resume. And then 8, you're going to Google you. You will Google you is number 8 item that you are going to execute on for your business. And we're not quite done. So this is the entire LAER Agent Services dashboard. Definitely bookmark that. You can come back to it as often as you like. But we're going to head back. If you will recall, many hours ago, we started here on the LAER Agent Services, I'm sorry, on the LAER Program and Services Guide. And I had mentioned the guide is broken down into 4 sections. We have marketing and branding, technology, training and education, and then all of the support services that we offer to agents. We have pretty much covered most of the marketing and branding. You got to hear from Sergio, who talked about our done for you marketing support. One thing we didn't really have time to cover is if you're a LAER agent, we also boost all of your listings for 7 days. So as soon as you list a property, we automatically do a program called Boost by HomeSpotter. So we boost for 7 days that listing on Facebook and Instagram and anywhere where they allow pay-per-click marketing. It's designed to generate leads for you. So on average, you will get leads, 10 to 20 leads per listing. I caution you that they're cold leads. So most of those leads are not super anxious to buy a house right now, but you get all their contact information. So put them into your set it and forget it email campaigns. You got to hear from Sergio about our social media assistant, which is every Monday, you'll receive a text and an email of all of your social media pieces for the week. And then typically for CMAs, we typically use Cloud CMA. It's an upgraded version of Cloud CMA. It's not the free one that you get with most of the MLSs. We have the premium version, which means that we've added a lot of our own marketing additional pieces into the packages. And then we do have 2 magazines, our at-home magazine and our luxury selling guide, 2 professional printed magazines, just to include in your packages. The second section of the program guide is technology. So first of all, when you join LAER, there's all kinds of free technology that you get access to. So we give you premium version of .loop or app files. These are our transaction management systems. We pay for your showing time. We pay for your premium version of Cloud CMA. We pay for your Boost by HomeSpotter system, which is that lead generation system for new listings. And for agents that want it, we give you a full G Suite. So that includes a Google email, Google Drive, and like the Google form, everything Google you get as part of the G Suite, it's all complimentary. In addition to that, agents often ask, like, when they're shopping for a brokerage, is there any monthly fees associated with being with your brokerage? And at our company, the answer is maybe. We have an optional $39 per month tech bundle, and it includes 3 additional products. So everything I just showed you, every agent gets at our company. Then we have this extra tier for agents that need just a little bit more on the technology front. The $39 a month, and this is optional. So agents, if you already have these as part of your system, which many agents already have a CRM system, many agents already have a website. If you have all that, you don't need to opt into this, but we have 3 products for the additional $39 a month. One is Isaac. By the way, I think all 3 of these products are really good no matter what, that even if you're not a part of LAER, I'd go sign up for many of these products anyways. The CRM that we recommend is Isaac because it's simple to use. It's basically an email set it and forget it newsletter. That's the power of the Isaac system. You set it up once, and once a month, your people in your database will get an email from you of just the newsletter. They write it all for you, and it's good content. They do give you an option of changing the newsletter. So if you don't like anything about it, it's super easy to change it. But phenomenal product for its ease of use. By the way, that's why we picked it. There are CRMs out there that have way more bells and whistles, but we find the more bells and whistles a product has, the harder it is to use, and so then it doesn't get used. So we pick Isaac as one of the partners of the $39 a month tech bundle for its ease of use. However, I mentioned earlier, we're going to be announcing at our next sales meeting a new CRM partner, and that company is called Fellow. That is also a CRM system. It's a set it and forget it system, and that one is more AI, more tech-based, and it's really focused on getting you listing appointments out of your current database. So as we transition to Fellow, we're going to give agents the option. You can keep your Isaac if you prefer, or you can move over and transition to the Fellow platform. We don't think you need both. So you need one CRM platform. So we're going to give our agents that are paying the $39 a month tech bundle the option. You want the Fellow platform, or do you want the Isaac platform? Okay, next part of the $39 a month tech bundle is an agent website. It comes to you all branded. We deliver it to you. It's already beautiful and ready to use. And the third and most important part of the $39 a month tech bundle is Real Scout. Real Scout is what saves you from Zillow. When I was showing you the buyer presentation earlier, one of the things we had in that buyer presentation, which was our checklist manifesto for buyers, is we had a slide in there that talked about Zillow. Because I said, if you're not talking about Zillow with your clients, you're losing business to Zillow. So for LAER agents, most agents are using the Real Scout platform. And this is your Zillow Buster. It's basically having your own Zillow, but better, because it's a real-time search experience. So if the listing's on Real Scout as active, it's still active in MLS. We said earlier, Zillow doesn't update because they don't want to update. They want it to look like they have a massive database of listings that is not available elsewhere. In reality, it's not true. They just don't update their platform regularly. So Real Scout is a phenomenal tool. And with that, I want to invite Ashley, who is our resident Real Scout expert. She does lots of training for our agents to show them best practices. And she's just going to go through the 10 things you want to know about Real Scout. By the way, all 3 of these products, in case you're not a LAER agent, you can go get any one of these products for about $39 a month. At LAER, because we have a lot of agents, it's just discounted because we have so many agents. So we're able to offer the entire bundle for the $39. And with that, we have, hold on a second. Ashley, you there? There you are.
Yeah, I'm here.
Next
Thank you,
up.
Stacey. So
Yep.
as I get ready to share my screen, I just want to share something that I do. So instead of having a Tupperware full of the listing presentations for buyers and sellers, I have like one of those little 3-drawer plastic things, and I have each drawer labeled. So one is labeled sellers, one is labeled buyers. And then the last drawer, I have a bunch of different blank forms for all the different states that I'm licensed in for both buyers and sellers. So I have like a little 3-drawer thing in my trunk instead of just
That's awesome.
just a little mixed thing of, you know, Tupperware.
Awesome.
So let me just find my mouse, because I'm a little OCD organized, like I have to be organized. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And so Stacey said, what I did is I just created 10 quick guide to get Real Scout started. And what I like to start off with is everybody has the cell phone, right? There's always an app for that, right? There's an app for that. There's an app for this. There's an app for your bank. So of course, Real Scout has an app. However, I do want to caveat that there is a consumer version of the app and an agent version of the app. So the agent version of the app is going to have a black background with a white house on it. It's also going to have the word pro across the top on the left. The consumer side is the reverse. White background, black house. And again, these may vary slightly between the different operating systems. So if you have an Android or an Apple or Motorola or a different phone, your app might look a little different, but the names of the apps are the same. So that's what I like to go off of first. The second thing I like to go over is, okay, great. How can I market this platform to not only sellers, but potential leads? So in Real Scout, on your agent dashboard or on your dashboard, which is your main screen when you log in, they have something called Market My Real Scout platform. And within this Market My Real Scout platform, there's 2 unique links. So one of the links will allow clients or potential clients to create a search on their own. Don't worry, if you have somebody that creates a search on their own, you will still be able to see the houses that they're getting matched to or what they're looking at, what they like and what they don't like in your dashboard. Excuse me, because it tracks all of that data within the system. And then the next link that you get is right here, and that's an onboarding link. So it gathers information for a prospect, and once they fill out this form, it will then invite them to create a search on their own. And again, you will see all of that information on your dashboard when you log into your Real Scout account. That's all great, Ashley. But what if I have more than one license that I want to have associated with Real Scout? Perfect, not a problem. We can do that. But how do I verify which MLS I'm in, or how do I change the MLSs? Great question. So you would go through, create the listing alert, and then right here where it says data feed / property class, this is where you would change it. So if you see the cross MLS search basic criteria, this means you're searching for properties between 2 different MLSs. So it could be New Hampshire MLS, which is prime MLS, and MLS PIN in Mass. If you do search between the 2 MLSs, it's more of just your basic search. You don't have those more custom features like searching for a particular school district or a particular school within a particular school district. And I'll get to that search feature a little later. So you would just select that drop down. So if you wanted to be MLS PIN, you would select MLS PIN. If it was Maine, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Florida, you would just select which MLS. For prime MLS, because New Hampshire has to be different and set themselves apart, they break theirs down into categories. So as you can see right here on this screenshot, they break it down into residential, commercial lease, commercial sale, land, and then I think there's one for rental and then commercial. So for New Hampshire, you would just have to select which one, which category you were setting the search up for. So how do I add a client? Super easy. You just click this add a client button right up here, enter their valid email. I always do the first name, last name, just in case you have 2 clients with the same first name. You want to make sure you're talking to the correct client. And recently Real Scout added, so when you're creating the client, you can select if they're a buyer, and seller, or other. And then you would click create client. And it's going to bring you to the next page, which is the search criteria. So you would just go through, fill out the search criteria. And then what I really like about Real Scout is that once you save it to a client, you can select the client that you want to save it to. You can rename the search and then the alert schedule. So they have daily, ASAP, handpick, which the handpicked means you would go through the listings that they were matched to and then send them out. They will not automatically be sent out to the client, and then ASAP. I always do ASAP, and I always check off right here, send copy to myself. So anytime my clients get a new email saying that they've been matched to 123 Main Street, Chelmsford, Mass, I'm getting that same email. So if I'm on the road with clients all day on a Saturday, I can take a quick look at this property. And then if my clients, right, another reason why I love Real Scout is that my clients can go in on their side and they can like and dislike certain features, certain amenities about the property. And I can see that in my Real Scout dashboard, whereas in MLS, they just like and dislike a property. Okay, great. Now I'm going to have to pick up the phone and call them between my appointments to find out what they liked and didn't like. Whereas this gives me that information right there. So I know that if they really like amenities and features, and if they rate it above 3 stars, because Real Scout also allows for them to rate the property on a scale of 1 to 5 stars. If it's over 3 for my clients, I call them and I said, hey, when do you want to see this property? Real Scout does offer a couple of different ways for you to do your search criteria, or not search criteria, but your search area. Oh, I clicked too quickly. So you can draw your own outline in a specific area. You can draw a polygon, you can draw a rectangle, or you can draw a radius. So let's say you had a client who had to be within 10 miles of a hospital, for example, right? You could, find where they work or find approximately where they work in that town. And then you would just draw out that circle. And when you're doing the circle, it'll have a line and it'll say 1 mile, 2 mile, 3 mile. So you know how many miles out you're drawing your radius. Again, this is where you can search by the particular school district or school name. This is if you are not searching in more than one MLS. This is only if you do one MLS at a time. And I will caveat this as well, and I should put a disclaimer somewhere in here, is that if the town is not spelled correctly, so for example, Port St. Lucie, if Saint is S-A-I-N-T in the county records, but in MLS listing, the agent just does ST dot, the shortened abbreviation for Saint. Real Scout doesn't always pull those listings, so sometimes you may have more matches in MLS than you will in Real Scout, and it's because of how the town is spelt in the MLS versus in Real Scout. So Real Scout goes by the grammatically correct spelling that all of the towns use. The next search thing that I have for Real Scout, or a quick tip, is, okay, how do I update a client? So let's say my client has updated their budget a little bit, right? Perfect. you go over to the left. So on the left side of your Real Scout screen, you have a dashboard or a navigation menu. You would just click on client contacts. You would click on the person's name right here. So you would just click on their name. It's going to open up another window for you. And then depending upon the alert that you wanted to change, so if it was the market activity alert or the listing alert or the home value alert, you would click on the edit button right here. You would click on edit. It's going to bring up another window. You would click edit filters, and then it's going to bring up the criteria screen again of when you first started to set up the client. You can go through, update any criteria that you need. And then it's going to ask you if you want to send them any new listings, and you can send them or you cannot send them. So that's how you can update the clients. This next feature I love. It's great. It's an auto nurture campaign. I have it enabled for all of my clients. So basically what this does is if you have your client set up on a 3-bed, 2-bath search, but they start to look at 3-bed, 1-bathroom searches, it's going to start to send them the 3-bed, 1-bath searches, as well as the 3-bed, 2-bath. So it also has an auto drip campaign feature that automatically puts them in that and sends them that relevant information. The next thing that I do is I like to call this what's going on in my neighborhood report, because this report not only is good for buyers, but it's good for sellers. So this report shows you how many buyers there are, how many buyer interactions there have been over a number of days. So it could be 90, 60, 30, 180, and 365 days. So you would put in your price range, your minimum and your maximum price, and then it'll create this heat map. And where these colors are is what Real Scout calls the relative popularity or relative popular homes. So these are going to be your top viewed homes. And then you can see more information as you go down that report, how many buyers there were on a specific day, what the top viewed listings are, what's recently changed, what's recently been put on market. And I use this to structure offers. So instead of maybe a 45-day close, we'll do a 30-day close. Instead of not doing a home inspection cap, we might do, okay, anything over $5,000 in repairs, we will come back unless it is a safety or health hazard per the inspector or appraiser. So I use this to structure my offers and to make them more attractive to the sellers. Okay, on the flip side, I use it for sellers when I'm going to list an appointment and they might be up here on price, but all of the data in the CMA shows they should be down here. I use this to kind of justify the price that I'm suggesting, because this will show them, okay, so this is what's going on in our neighborhood. This house recently sold, same square footage as us, same dimensions. They just may have different amenities than you have. So it can kind of bring your clients back down to reality and be like, okay, so we can't necessarily get what we want for a house because the market is not supporting that number that we thought we could get. So I use that for the sellers as well when I do go to listing appointments. And then the last thing that I do is, why is Real Scout better than a website or Zillow or Realtor.com? It's an above average search experience. The new property alerts are daily. The property search emails. They have a mobile app. They can integrate with major Real estate lead platforms. So like Realtor.com, Boomtown, different programs like that. You can integrate with your Real Scout. And then also just I feel like it's more client friendly and more agent friendly with the agent and the client than your typical MLS. And then again, it's way more up to date than Zillow is, as Stacey mentioned earlier. And then the last thing I have is just the little page about Zillow and why you should be talking about Zillow if you are not. So with that, I'm going to give it back over to Stacey.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashley.
You're welcome.
All right, we are back. to the LAER Program and Services Guide. By the way, as a reminder, if you're using Real Scout for anything in the LAER Program Guide, anytime you see something underlined, it's little links to more information. So if you're using Real Scout, there's all kinds of great tutorials on how to properly use it for your business. And Ashley does training programs every month on Real Scout as part of our regular tools training. The third section of the program guide is our career development section, and we've covered a lot of this today, so I don't need to really go through it any further. However, I do want to point out that we have been, in August, we partnered for a 6-month coaching program for agents with Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer wrote an incredible book called The 7 Levels of Communication. And the reason we partnered with him is because the way he coaches you to build a business, you don't have to like overcome objections. You don't have to be a great salesperson. His entire business blueprint is based on gratitude. So if you want to join us for that, we do open it up to agents of any firm. You can learn more about it at laerrealty.com/finish strong. There's still 3 more months of the program left, and we'd love to have you on those live calls every Monday at 10:30. So laerrealty.com/finish strong. As well, the last section of our guide is the agent support services. Couple things I want to let everybody know is, first of all, if you're a LAER agent, one of the things we always stress is we have 50+ staff members that are here to support your business. If you need anything, email happyagent@laerrealty.com. That goes into our customer support portal where you're the customer. That goes into our customer support portal. It immediately gets assigned to whichever staff member is best suited to answer your question quickly and knowledgeably. So it's our way of making sure you always get the help you need when you need it. We have some really cool technology as well. If you're a LAER agent, we use Deposit Link and Earnest for collecting escrow deposits. Of course, we'll take a check too, but who feels like driving to an office or driving somewhere to pick up a check when you could just send somebody a link to execute on everything? This page is important for every agent. On this page, we've outlined all the companies that generate leads for real estate agents. There's 2 types of lead programs for real estate professionals. One is referral fee-based lead platforms. That's all the ones on the left side here. These are companies that you could sign up for, and you only pay if you close a transaction. They're expensive. It's a 35 to 40% referral with most of these companies. However, it's not about that customer solely. So they start sending you leads, and your job is to turn each person into your sales force so that now you have another person in your database that's out there talking about you, sharing your name, referring you to friends and family. One good lead could turn into 10 good leads. So I'm a huge fan of referral fee-based lead platforms. Of course, there's also subscription-based lead platforms where you pay a monthly fee and you'll get leads. But of the 2, my preference is referral fee-based lead platforms. These are all live links, so it'll take you to a page where you can sign up to get leads. If you're a LAER agent, we do have an in-house transaction coordinating team. This is really for agents that are doing like 20+ transactions a year and don't want to deal with paperwork. They get introduced into the transaction as your, I gave you the wrong page. Hold on. Going too fast. They get introduced into the transaction as your personal assistant and take over everything. So it's either for agents doing 20+ transactions a year, or maybe you're not doing 20 transactions, you're only doing 5 transactions a year and you hate paperwork. Then check out our transaction coordinating team. I always say all the good things we have at our company are a byproduct of our committees. Everything we do at LAER all the changes we make, all the additions we make are a byproduct of our committees that meet and volunteer their time monthly to give us good ideas on how to better build the business. We also, as you know, have a phenomenal sustainability team on our back end, so that if agents have questions or need help or support when it comes to sustainable homes, you've got that. We are a realtor organization. We proudly support the realtor name. And I always say that one of the reasons, there's lots of industries out there that have been highly impacted by technology. So the taxi industry, yellow taxi industry, the travel agency business, even now hotels are being impacted by like Airbnb. While our industry has been impacted by technologies like Zillow, we're still around. And I believe we're still around because we have a phenomenal trade organization that supports not only real estate agents, but buyers and sellers. You guys have attended our boot camp, so thank you for staying on for so long. And then at the back of the program, we have all of our LAER locations. By the way, if you're a LAER agent, you can utilize any of our offices. There's a little link at the bottom here at laerrealty.com/office access. So if you're a LAER agent, you can freely utilize the different locations. If you are a LAER agent, this is the only pitch I'll make for agents that are not LAER agents today, is if you are not a LAER agent, but you enjoyed all the tools, the training, the technology that you got to hear about today, I encourage you to go to either email me. You can email me at happyagent@laerrealty.com. My name is Stacey Alcorn. I'm the founder and CEO of LAER. And you could just say, I saw the boot camp today and I'm interested in learning more about LAER. Even if we're not in your marketplace, I promise you we're coming. We're building significantly right now in Maine, adding several offices, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Florida, and really any marketplace is open. So if you like what you heard today and you're interested in having a conversation about how LAER can help you grow your business, then email me at happyagent@laerrealty.com. As well, you can go on and learn more about us at laerrealty.com/careers. I think I'm going to double check that right now, but I think it's laerrealty.com/careers. And there's a little form on there. If you go to laerrealty.com, I do know you can go to hire a lion. Yes, laerrealty.com/careers. And there's a little form on there that you can fill out if you're interested in learning more about our brokerage. With that, I want to thank everybody for spending so much time with us today. I think it speaks to the level of commitment you have for your business, and your customers are very lucky to have you. Sitting on a webinar for 3 hours is no easy feat, and you guys stuck through there for 3 hours. What I want to leave you with is your checklist of things that you're going to execute on. Please don't leave your computer today without writing down the things that you will execute on for your business. And with that, thank you to our entire team who helped us deliver today's program, including Ashley, Craig, and Sergio. And with that, have a great November. Thanks, everyone.